Okay. As boxing fans, we all know that the word robbery gets thrown around a lot and probably a bit too much. But this was a robbery. Zach Parker was just disgracefully, criminally, that's a good word to use, robbed against Joshua Buatsi. I gave Joshua Buatsi 2 out of the 10 rounds. You could have even just gave him 1 round. Um, Joke, to be honest. I gave Joshua Buatsi the first round and the 8th round. How the judges scored the fight, I don't know. I'm really confused. Joshua Buatsi did jack shit, to be honest. He did absolutely next to nothing in that fight against Zach Parker. Zach Parker's not great to watch, okay. He absolutely schooled Joshua Buatsi. It wasn't a great watch. It wasn't pretty to watch. But he scored him. I wouldn't even say, it was just an all-out clinch fest. I wouldn't say that. Parker was boxing. He was smothering his work a lot. Yeah, bit painful to watch here and there, but he got his tactics spot on. Buatsi did nothing. Like, okay, Zach Parker was slipping all over the place and getting bullied in the clinch quite a bit, and went on his knees about 25 times. But it doesn't change the fact that he was boxing rings around Joshua Buatsi, and Joshua Buatsi was getting frustrated putting his weight on Parker. He was getting really frustrated in there. He couldn't do anything. He didn't do anything. I don't know what the corner was telling him because nothing changed. He just kept walking forward with the high guard, and Parker would just be able to jab his head off, snap his head back with the jab, follow up with a good straight to the body, which I think was a real key shot for Parker today, that right hand to the body. And when Buatsi got in close, he just clinch up or, yeah, turn him around nicely, get back behind the jab. It was a disciplined performance by him, but I don't know what Buatsi did. The jab was non-existent from Joshua Buatsi. I can't remember him ever throwing a double jab. I can barely remember him throwing any jab at all. Parker was just managing the range well, and it was boring to watch, yeah. But it doesn't change the fact that Parker was robbed, no matter how you feel about him or how you feel about his performance. He was robbed. He was robbed. And Joshua, but what's he like after the fight? I want Benavidez or Yard. After watching that Yard and Boazzi fight might be a bit dead because obviously Benavidez will beat Yard, certainly will. But don't change the fact that Yard would destroy Boazzi after that. He's always been overhyped. I think the fact that but then he went the distance with Parker should be, he should have shown levels over him. I'd say Lyndon Arthur would bloody beat Joshua Boazzi after that, and Brad Ray versus Joshua Boazzi would be a good scrap. It was shocking stuff from Joshua Boazzi in that fight. He'd come forward, there was no real intent behind his punches. He wasn't really able to land much anyway. I thought that I thought Parker was just he boxed well, he was pivoting off really well. Parker was working angles nicely. Boazzi had no answer for it. There was no right hand from Boazzi. People defend the decision saying Boazzi was more aggressive. Okay, he came forward, but he came forward. He put Parker on the back foot, but Parker was just boxing his head off, snapping his head back with that lead hand. It wasn't like an elite level performance from Parker, but it's just the performance that got the job done. And that's what he tries to do. He doesn't try and do loads of fancy stuff. He just got the job done. No matter what fashion it was in. But it doesn't change the fact that Joshua Boazzi stunk out the arena worse than what Zach Parker did. And to be honest, that Parker didn't really stink out the arena. It was a boring performance. Yes, but it's different to stinking out the arena. Like, he put a schooling on him. He put a proper schooling on him. Gave Joshua Boazzi a lesson there. Boazzi, no angle changes. It didn't work angles at all. He just walked into punches, tried to go to the body when they were up close. Parker just clinched him, turned him back, got behind the jab. You know, I'm really confused to how judges scored the fight. I don't see how Joshua Boazzi won more than 2 rounds. All right, I don't see how he won more than 3 rounds. It's not possible to give him more than three. Two at the max, I thought he won, but it's not possible to give Joshua Boazzi 3 rounds, more than three. I don't know. I don't know what judges. I don't know. They need to explain decisions. I'm confused. I'm really confused by the scoring. I feel bad for that, but I'm really confused.